What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, we're coming back to Saiseiga. Yes, indeed, Saiseiga Fans FEELIN YOU. Come on down. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-bobbity bop, do me a favor before you do all that stuff. Please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from SMB, and this is actually one of SMB's 3 prioritized requests for the month of August for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So, here you go, SMB. Hope you enjoy the show. SMB wanted to see me react to this. It is Saiseiga with a tune called Strange Rain. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. It was always if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I recognize this song. I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by Saiseiga Official, okay? And the video has 82,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. A link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Ha, right off the gun. Official video. Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, and that's just precious.
That's never a good sign when that's the very first thing we see. Yeah, it's their official video coming off of their official page. Look, you already know what I'm going to say, so I'm not going to say it. All I'm going to say is we're going to have to just wait and see what happens and hope for the best. Saiseiga, Strange Rain. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Oh, there. I like it. 7-8 intro into 8-8 to the main group. 4-4. we have a guitar solo. Let's back up a bit. Okay. I'm going to fully acknowledge they are doing something that I'm not usually the biggest fan of. But I'm loving it here, and I have my reasons, and I have all the supporting evidence I need to back up my reasons. I'm usually very critical of bands that change time signatures rapidly, like when they change them like every measure or every 2 measures. And I'm going to fully acknowledge that they are doing it. Okay, they absolutely are. At times, not all the time, but there have been spots where they have gone, you know, from 7/8 to 4/4, back to 7/8 again, back to 4/4. But here's the thing, and I know this is gonna sound hypocritical of me, but I have my reasons, okay? And the biggest reason is this. First of all, I like it. I like what they're doing. I'm liking the switches, okay? In this case. And the reason being is it's repeated. It's a pattern, okay? Once you find the pattern, it's 7/8, 4/4, 7/8, 4/4, 7/8, 4/4, 7/8, 4/4. There's a big difference between switching between 2 time signatures and doing the exact same thing with 7/8, 4/4, 3/4, 11/8, 6/8, 4/4, 3/4, 2/4, 13/8, 7/8, 4/4, 3/8, 4/4, 7/8 again. There's a big difference between switching every measure between 2 time signatures. It's a pattern, okay? 7/8, 4/4, 7/8, 4/4, 7/8, 4/4, 7/8, 4/4. Gee, I wonder what's going to come next. 7/8. Surprise, surprise. If they did 7/8, I wonder what's coming next. Gotta be 4/4. There it is. There's a big difference between doing that and doing just random nonsense, okay? Random nonsense, I am not a fan of. I have never been a fan of. Repeated patterns, that's a whole nother story, okay? It's organized, it's structured, there's reason, there's purpose. I like that, okay? Random nonsense, just randomly switching to random time signatures, whatever they feel like it, just so they can show off their ability to songwrite. I am not a fan of that. That's impossible to groove to. Unless you know the pattern, unless you know each and every time signature change. Now, people are going to say, well, you didn't know the pattern here. You're right. I did not know the pattern here, but I was able to figure it out real quick when it went 7/8, 4/4, 7/8, 4/4, 7/8. Gee, I wonder what's next. Oh, it's 4/4. So let me guess. We're going to go back to 7/8. Yup. And let me guess. We're going to go back to 4/4. Yup. You know, at that point, it becomes elementary. It's really simple to follow, okay? I know in the past, like I said, I've had problems and I've had issues with bands who just, you know, trade off and time signatures like a revolving door, you know, just quickly changing them out, changing them out, changing them out. It's a lot different when there's a structured pattern. It's a lot different. It's a lot more enjoyable. Along with that, they are giving some great illusional work with the usage of switching feel. I want to be very clear. The tempo has not changed. The tempo has been the same since the beginning of the song. But they have switched around from straight time to half time to double time. They even did it 1 measure each at one point where they went half time for 1 measure, then they went to straight time, double time for 2 measures, and then back to straight time again. And it all added up. It all added up. The measure of straight time and the 2 measures of double time equal the exact same amount as the halftime feel. So that was nice. That was really well done. I like the feel of the song. I like the heaviness of the song, especially when we go into that halftime feel and they hit those triplets. Jun, jun, jun. Yeah, man. Crack your ribs heavy. I like it. There's more I want to talk about, but we'll hold off on that for now. Let's get back into the song and let's see what else they're going to do here. That's 4, 5, 6, 7. Halftime. Time. Ripper Field. But staying in 4-4. And they didn't switch to 6-8. Right there, half time, straight time, double time. Nice. Yep. I can't even hide it. I'm trying not to smile right now. I'm trying. And, yeah, it's not happening. I think I have no poker face. I think it's pretty obvious that I enjoyed that. Yes, I did.
More seductive than sex.
You can't say that on TV.
I can say that.
How much did I enjoy it? And more importantly, looking at the song objectively, what do I think of it? Putting my geekdom aside, what did I really think of it from an objective standpoint? Well, that might be a different story. Then again, it might not. Let's find out, shall we? Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Saiseiga with a tune called Strange Rain. This was a request from SMB, and this was actually one of SMB's 3 prioritized requests for the month of August for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So, there you go, SMB. Hope you enjoyed the show. Okay, I don't think it's any surprise. I don't think anybody's really all that shocked when I say I enjoyed this. I absolutely did. This is 100% up my alley. There was nothing about this song that I did not enjoy. I had a blast listening to this. This is going on playlists, without question. This is going on all of them. Even the gym. I know that's going to be a little weird, for, like doing treadmill work and something like that, but for weights, you don't need to worry about tempo when you're doing weights. You don't need to worry about tie signatures changing. There's no pattern pacing on this. You don't have to keep in step. Now, when you're doing weights, you just go, man. You just go. And tie signature isn't going to make one bit of difference. So the fact that they're switching between 7-8, 4-4, 7-8, 4/4, 7/8, 4/4. Doesn't make any difference whatsoever, okay? The intensity of the song absolutely lends itself well to Jim. And, okay, here's the thing. Driving around town, yes, I'm going to put this on there, and long drives, I'm going to put this on there too. But I have to be careful, because a song like this could seriously get me into trouble. And I don't want to be getting speeding tickets anytime soon. So I'll put it on there, because I dug the song, but I got to be careful. Now, I think I made it very clear that I enjoyed the song. I absolutely will listen to the song again without question, and it's going on playlists, okay? But how do I feel about the song looking at it objectively? We've seen this in the past where, you know, I love a song and I'll give it a lower score than everybody thinks it deserves based on how much I like it. And on the flip side, there have been songs I haven't been 100% thrilled about, but they end up getting fantastic scores. Remember, I look at things objectively when it comes to the scoring, guys. So just because I love a song does not mean it's going to get a super high score.
That's the truth.
Sorry to say that, but it's true. It happens. But that's not the case here. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.1. Yep, 8.1. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, an 8.1. What does that mean? Well, an 8.1 would translate to a great scale rating because, yeah, looking at the song objectively, there are some great things happening in here. It would also get 4 to 5 stars and an A- letter grade. Yeah, A-. So there you go, an 8.1, great skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. Personally, I would put this up a little higher than 8.1. I on a personal level, how I personally feel, I mean, we'd still be in the 8s, but I would put this up like about 8.7, 8.8, somewhere in there. I dug the tune. But, no, looking at the song objectively, it absolutely deserves a great score. Some really great things happening in there. The musicianship, across the board, everybody did a fine job. I liked what I was hearing from the instrumentation. Now, having said that, I am going to put the instrumentation in the really goods, okay? Everybody playing the instruments did a really good job, okay? It was clean, it was tight, it was precise, it was accurate, it was chunky, it sounded nice. I liked everything that I heard. But if I'm being honest, the only thing I heard about the instrumentation that I would really classify as impressive was the guitar solo. The guitar solo was impressive. It did sound good. Showed a lot of variety in technique. I liked what I heard there. And the guitar solo did impress me. Nothing else in the musicianship impressed me. It sounded good. It was solid across the board. Absolutely. And I will give credit where credit's due. The songwriting. Okay. If I'm being honest, the songwriting was probably the strongest part of the entire song. Some very creative songwriting. Utilizing, first of all, okay, I know it's not all that impressive to be utilizing, you know, the play with feel, you know, straight time, half time, double time. I know that's not all that impressive, but it adds up. It all adds up. The usage of switching between them. And it's sometimes a little rapidly, but here's the thing, and I'm going to get back to that rapid thing in just a second. The other thing was the usage of time signature, the usage of 7/8. Really nice. At the beginning, when I heard that 7/8, I was like, okay, we're not in 4/4. Okay, you got my attention. You know, you absolutely got my attention right now. Yeah, that's what we call an attention getter. Absolutely. And then we switched back to 4/4, the groove, and then we grooved on that 4/4 for a while, and then they interjected the 7/8 again. Now, here's where things start to get a little tricky. 7/8 to 4/4, 7/8 to 4/4, 7/8 to 4/4, 7/8 to 4/4. Okay, well, I know in the past I've been very critical of bands who do that, and bands who switch time signatures rapidly. But if you go back and listen to every time I've complained about that, you will hear me say, in addition to switching the time signature rapidly, switching time signature switching time signatures rapidly with absolutely no established pattern. Just random time signature changes. That I am not a fan of. And I've made that very clear in the past. When you have time signature changes that happen like this, that happen rapidly, yes, I will absolutely give that it is happening rapidly, but there is a pattern. 7-8, 4-4, 7-8, 4-4, 7-8, 4-4. Yep, sure is. Okay, let me guess. We're going back to 7-8. Sure enough, there it is. I was able to figure out the pattern within the first listen. I was able to figure it out. I was like, let me guess. Yeah, halfway through it, I'm like 7-8, 4-4, 7-8, 4-4, 7-8. Let me guess, 4-4. Sure enough, there it was. And then let me guess, 7-8 again? And 4-4 again. Okay, I see the pattern. I was able to find the pattern super quick, super fast, super easy. After that, I was able to follow it. And every single time it popped up, not only was I ready for it, but I knew how long it was going to go for because it went on the exact same amount of time each and every time. There was an established pattern. Easy to follow, easy to identify, but it still sounded really good. It still sounded fresh. It still sounded different. And it still, especially the first time through, made you think. It wasn't just lay back and groove to 4-4 the entire time. They kept you on your toes. I like that. I have no problem with that whatsoever. It's when you switch from 7-8 to 4-4 to 3-8 to 9-8, back to 4-4 to 3-4. Let's do 2 measures of 11-8, back to 4-4, a measure of 17-8, back to 3-4, over to 5-8, 6-8, 9-8, back to 4-4 again. That's when I have a problem. No established pattern. None. Just random nonsense. That's when I have an issue. That's when I have a problem. When it doesn't make sense. There's no way you can groove to that on your first listen. This 7-8, 4-4, 7-8, 4-4, 7-8. Let me guess, 4-4. Okay, well, there it is. There's the pattern. Now it's easy to follow. Now it's easy to groove. I was able to get on the first listen, so it's not that complicated, but it still had a nice groove to it, and it felt good, and there was just enough complexity in there, the usage of the 7-8 to the 4-4, to make it feel a little bigger than it actually was. So that's how we're going up into the 8s, if I'm being honest. Everything else across the board was high 7. Musicianship, high 7. Vocals, high 7. The feel of the song, the groove of the song, definitely up in the 8s though, without question. Vocally, I liked it. I know I'm not always the biggest fan of pure grit and growl, and her grit and growl in this was strong, but it was done well. It was done well. I have no complaints. It would have been nice, and it might have affected the score a little more in the positive way if there had been some clean vocals in there. That might have been nice, but that's all right. I mean, you can't always get what you want, right?
You can't always get what you want.
No, this song, loved it, loved everything about it. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I will be putting this on playlists for sure. So yeah, that 8.1 is absolutely deserved. I feel good about that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have an 8.1, which is a great skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.